So one time I had this idea for my students to go outside and have a contest to see who could build a campfire using just 3 matches and a pile of sticks, and it would all be in the snow in the dead of winter. But first, we would read the short story to build a fire to get some ideas and inspiration. I mean, talk about connecting literacy with something fun. So we read the story and we hiked out of my classroom into the woods by our school and we built a fire. And it was epic. But then when we got back to school, my students smelled like campfire and my principal received a complaint. So he said to me, "Are you planning on doing this with the rest of your classes today?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to do that. Building fires outside of school and the smoke smell, it might not be the best idea." So I said, "Yeah, I do understand." But after he left, I was pretty bummed about this. I mean, I got really excited about connecting this piece of literature with a fun, hands-on learning experience. And I saw that in first hour how much my students loved it. So when my next class came in, I wasn't excited to break the news to them, to tell them that we couldn't go outside like the first class. But just as I was starting to make that announcement, my principal popped his head back into my classroom and he said, "Never mind, Mr. Muir, go out and build a fire." He changed his mind. And so we spent the day reading and building fires, and we roasted marshmallows too. And after school, I asked my principal why he changed his mind. And he said it was because he overheard students from my first hour talking about how much fun they had. And he figured it was worth getting a few complaints to see high school seniors that excited about English class. And what I love about this, what I love about his leadership here, was that it was adaptable. His decisions weren't fixed, but instead flexible to the situation. He allowed them to be informed by further information. And this was such a valuable lesson for me as a teacher. I mean, so many times I've held rigid rules and felt conflicted when there seemed to be a good reason to push those boundaries because I thought I couldn't push them because they were already stated. Like when teaching writing and saying that your poems have to rhyme, but then a student turns in something brilliant that doesn't rhyme, but still marking them down for it. Or maybe saying that you have to solve this math problem this way, but they do it another way and get to the same answer, and then still saying that this is wrong. Or saying that during reading time you need to be silent, but then you see 2 kids geek out about a book that they're reading together and then telling them no talking. I mean, I totally get having firm boundaries, and I understand the need for rhyming in poetry, or learning math in a certain way, or the benefits of a quiet room for reading. I do. But sometimes it's okay to change the rules. I think it's so easy to get stuck in doing things a certain way, because that's how it's always been done. And yet sometimes we learn that there are other paths to take. There's good reasons to change our minds and be flexible. Maybe even break our own rules. Within reason, of course. I mean, if my principal assessed that building fires was dangerous or disruptive to other classes, of course he should stay firm on his decision and his rule. But when he weighed the outcome and saw that a little flexibility was worth it, students got to experience a little extra joy in English class that day. And I got to feel trusted and honored as a teacher by my principal. And I got to eat a few marshmallows all day long.